Torah. Therefore we need every day and every year a new preparation that we're heading for. Which is waiting for us. That's the answer. The answer is that we need a Avraham Avinu story that we should know how to prepare ourselves for the new level in Matan Torah which we're heading for every day. So the Rabbi now brings to that a most amazing raya. As put down in the Gemara in the Masechta Shabbos in the Sugya of Matan Torah. in Daf Pei Zayin, Pei Tes is the Sugya of Matan Torah, the famous Sugya in the Masechta Shabbos. As brought down there, that when the Yidden heard the Aseret Satibras, Porach and Nishmosa, that their souls went out from the tremendousness of the effect that had on them, and the tremendous emotional and other arousal. Tremendous emotional arousal. He said that had on them, and what happened was that the neshamas went out, that they're goofy. So it's brought down in the Gemara that immediately the neshamas went out, the Eivishter gave them back again. The Eivishter gave it back. So then when they heard the next Dibur, the neshamas went out again. And Hashem put it back right till the end of the Aseret Satibra. So I asked the question, what's happening here? Each time the Eivishter gives them back. So the Rebbe said we have to understand that Hashem just doesn't repeat things for no purpose. And we have this cloud that we just pointed out, everything must always be an aliyah, ma'ileh. And therefore the first Parchanish Muslim that they had is not as high as the second one. Therefore Hashem gave them back their souls, and then they went through an even bigger one. And then he gave them back again, and then they went through an even bigger one. By the time they got to the last, the Aseret Satibra, they weren't going out completely, and Hashem had to give them back their souls with a more powerful power than what he needed the first time. And remember, it follows the feast there, that every Indian in Matan Torah is like a new Matan Torah compared to the next day. And so the Rabbi said, in Matan Torah itself, that we see. And that's what he says now. V'zu, the mashmoyes ha-mesukah, shemakmas kol dibur, she'om ha-kodesh baruch hu, Matan Torah, pocha nishmosom, shel b'nei Yisrael. This is the, how do you call it, the implication of what we are told, that due to every statement of Hashem at Matan Torah, the neshamas of the Yidden jumped out. They took off. Porach nishmosom, ule'achem mikach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu hikses nishmosom be'emteus tal ha'machaya mezim. The Gemara says that the Eivishter gave him back their neshamas. How did he do that? With the same way that he's going to bring back the dead at Tchias HaMezim. And that's a special tal, that's called tal Shiur. It's a very special level. The Zohar Kodesh got a tremendous amount to say, but it's a very high level. So the Rebbe says that each time Hashem had to be mechayah them after they went out. So since we have this cloud, so that there's always an aliyah, then this was a high level in the tal the next time around than it was the time before. We have to say that. So he said, Masha Mochiyah, Shaliach Shebnei Yisrael, Higiu L'Shleimus Avedosah, Kenishomis Begufim, they had reached the best they could as human beings. They were still Nishomis Begufim, and then they took off, Porach Nishmosim. In other words, you Nishoma, who loses your body, or goes out of your body when you're on a very high madrega. But if you're just sitting around with your thumbs in your pocket, then your neshama is not going to jump out. So that means to say that they didn't want a very perfect madrega, and they reached a point where the pot couldn't hold the tafshil in the cook anymore. He wasn't able to lick the soup anymore, and the soup spilled over. So they went out altogether. Hashem brought him back. So he says, Hutu alayhim לחזר ולהגיע לשלבים חדשים וגבוהים יותר. That means that by giving them back their neshama, it was placed upon them, it was required of them by Hashem that they have to reach an even higher level than they did the time before. And then he gave them back again, their neshama. And remember, we see that each time you reach another stage in Matan Torah, Hashem demands of you a new level altogether. And for that purpose, he keeps you going. And for that we see that we have to prepare ourselves very well for each new stage in Matan Torah. So he says, that's the Torah. That's the answer to the whole question. And therefore we need to know what did Avraham Avinu do to prepare for Matan Torah on a different level than what we learned about.
But we have the every day in learning Torah. You have to go up higher every day and you have to go up higher every day.
We have normal?
In learning Torah, you have to go up higher every day.
That's right.
So what's the difference here?
No different. No different whatsoever. It occurred by them several times over. But by each time, Porch and Shmosam means that was the finish. And then they have to start all over again. Because he said to Mechayim Ezra. They start all over again. And Hashem required them to start on a higher level. By us, we receive the Torah every day. Tomorrow, we're going to start on a higher level. If we're going to start on a higher level, and we receive on a deeper and higher level, then we're going to have a preparation. And therefore, Avraham Avinu's story indicates to us how do we make that preparation.
Is it a preparation of Aliyah every day, like Avraham Avinu?
Every day you've got to be higher and comfortable. Shalei Be'er. The Rebbe says Shalei Be'er. And at the end of the Sikha, he says that you've got to learn Torah in such a way that every time you sit down to learn, you've got to come up with something better than you had last time you sit down. Let's say you sit down now in the morning, by the time you sit down in the middle of the day, you've got to come up with something incomparably better.
Isn't this the Indian of a Benini?
Is this a Beinani? I've told you many times before, the Rabbi holds that everybody's Beinani. That's number one. I mean, everybody. I mean, he holds all Elchi Yidden, at least, Beinani. And this is a ordinary type Beinani. This is not a big time. A tzaddik, he lives like this every minute. We just go through stages. He's every minute, he's in a state of Porch and Nishmasa. You follow? So every minute he's just going incomparably higher. And therefore we have no real appreciation of what is a tzaddik. You know, Halavai, like Rabbi Hill said, that we would have some appreciation of what is an Aveda. Upon him, so he says like that. So the Rebbe, the truth is that the Rebbe puts in a sentence after this in the Sikha, and he's not satisfied with that. He said that's a good answer, but he said, I want to go a bit deeper into this whole thing. And he says, it's mashma that what Avraham Avinu made Chona to Matan Torah is kilo. It was already Matan Torah, but it was like in a lead-in. So from that it would apply that Lech-Lecha is something essential to Torah. And if you don't have Lech-Lecha, and you don't have to follow the whole meaning of Torah. It's not just, like we said, that there can be two separate inyanim. One is connected and leads and helps get to the other. Or you can have two things which are mamish one thing. In there it's a meaning. So therefore he says Lech-Lecha is something deeper than this, or even though he said it's a good answer. Well, we answered so far, but he wants to get deeper into the whole thing. So what the Rebbe is going to prove is that nowadays, in our time and age, the Indian of Lech-Lecha is mamish, a preparation for going ahead with the whole Indian of going to Eretz Yisrael and receiving the Torah, everything, just like it was by Avraham, or Mammon, which means that it's a little bit not clear, but it would appear that you've got to get up and get cracking. So it's interesting, I was talking to somebody on the phone today, and I said to him, I'm not fully, so well, I don't know if I'm going to make cup for cup. That's what I said to him. He said, oh, but this Shabbos, you pass a Lech-Lecha. So I said, well, you've got me. According to what the Rabbi says, a Lech-Lecha is an essential part of everything. So I've got to get cracking, I've got to get moving. And so I can't have an excuse. So I've got to just get moving. Because Lech-Lecha is an essential part. And the Rabbi says that Moshiach is coming and everything of Amela, you've got to move. So the question is, where are you going to go? It's much more that you've got to do it, kipshute. You've got to actually get up and move, you know. So everybody, I guess, has got a picture in his mind. What does that mean? It certainly doesn't mean that he sits watching a telephone or something like that. What it means is that his mom's got to get up and do something, start off something completely new, and that is an essential move in to what is awaiting for. So how does all that make sense? I'm not sure that we're going to really get all that totally far, but let's make an attempt. So the Rebbe says like this. The heading is Ha'oretz Kvar Shalano. Now that's important. For this moment, we have to know that Eretz Yisrael is already ours. Not it will be ours and it could be ours or it's going to be ours or vice versa. No, the whole of Eretz Yisrael belongs to the Jewish people from Avraham Avinu. So he said, how does that work? So he said like this, Achona hamatulas aleinu ka'es, hi lo rak k'dei lahagia l'slav gavoya yoseh b'matan Torah. It's not just to reach a higher level in Matan Torah, ela k'dei lahagia l'shleimus ha'inyan shel Matan Torah. To reach the perfection of what does Matan Torah really imply. To reach Matan Torah, you've got to go higher and better, and you're learning Torah the whole time. But what does learning Torah the whole time, being the giving of the Torah, what does that mean for the world? In other words, when Hashem gave the Torah, what did he really want? What was the ultimate upshot of that? And once you know what was the ultimate upshot of that, then you can know why you've got to get out and move. In other words, there's two things. There's Matan Torah, and then there's what Matan Torah meant for the whole world and what was it aiming at. So has anybody learned Perek Lamed Vav in Tanya?
Every year.
What does he say over there?
It's under your nose. It's right under your nose.
The Alter Rebbe says over there that the Taklias HaKavana Bebrias V'Savas Kol Ha'olamas He Yemois HaMashiach V'Tchias HaMezid. That the ultimate purpose in the whole creation was to bring to the days of Mashiach and the standing up of the dead. Everything before that is only like a, how do you call it, a forerunner. But the emes of purpose of giving Torah, and then he tells us all about Matan Torah, the Alter Rebbe. If you look it up, you'll see, he tells us all about Matan Torah, and then he said about Matan Torah is leading to something. And what is that? He said that is Yemois HaMashiach V'Tchias HaMezid. So therefore, what the Rebbe is going to say is that we are now in the generation which is moving money towards the complete and ultimate achievement of what did Matan Torah really aim for. What was Matan Torah, what was his purpose? We're moving towards that. Since we're moving towards that, we've got to do what Avraham Avinu did. We've got to, Lech-Lecha, we've got to go. So he says, how does all this make sense? He said, we have to make an introduction and talk about the promise of HaKadosh Baruch Hu al Eretz Yisrael, or that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Eretz Yisrael to the Jewish people. And here's an amazing bomber. This is a big discussion in the great Meforshim, and the Rabbi is taking a very amazing line here. The Rabbi is taking a very special view of what the whole thing is. If you look at the promise in the Bein HaBetzorim that was made to Avraham Avinu, how many peoples did Avraham Avinu get promised?
His descendants. His descendants.
10 people. 10 nations are going to be conquered, and we're going to take over their land, and that will be our soil. How many did we get?
7.
9.
We got 7 only. We need
Only
3
got
more
7.
still.
The truth is it's 7.5, but it's called 7. Yeah, we got 7, and that's what we got. So Peninsula said that the conquering of Eretz Yisrael hasn't been completed. It wasn't finished. So the Rebbe said, how did Hashem promise all this to Avraham Avinu? We can imagine that in 2 ways. That he said to him, ultimately you're going to get 10 nations. Right from the moment, I'm going to give you 7. And then sometime in the future you'll have 10. Or we can say that Hashem right from the beginning said, no, you're getting 10. It's just that technically there might be a few hold-ups on the way, and you might get the whole 10 at one bang. You might have to go through a period, and it's quite a long period. You have to go through a period, and then you'll get the 10. Oh, but what I'm right now giving you the whole 10. It right now belongs to you. Or I can say, no, it doesn't belong to you yet. You will get it eventually by conquering it. So the Rebbe says what happened was that Hashem gave Avraham Avinu the whole 10, right from the beginning. They're all ours right from the very beginning. It's just that there's like technical development on the way. And there's certain inyonim what Hashem wanted they should happen, that we didn't conquer the whole 10 at one go. And there's a whole reason, there's all sorts of reasons and inyonim for that, which means that if we were promised Eretz Yisrael 10 countries, right at the very beginning, until we get those 10 countries, then we didn't really get the 7.5 that we got either perfectly. We got them, but we haven't got them perfectly because they're part of a parcel of 10. And the parcel of 10 has been given to us, which means we don't have the whole parcel of 10. We haven't really got everything yet. So we're living, and yet we're hoping, and we're looking, and the Rebbe writes in the Sikh a very moving thing. The Rebbe writes that Yidden, all the generations have known, that's what the Rebbe writes, that their one hope is that they're going to go back to the land of the 10 people. They're going to go back to the land of the 10 people, and they know that that is the ultimate promise to the Jewish people, and that's what they're longing for. So forget about the whole business with the Zionists, with all the Mises, with the Medina, with the Aleph Mises. Forget about it. But we can see what sort of troubles it's for. Only put your mind in Mashiach. Only Mashiach. And Mashiach is going to bring you the whole caboodle. He's going to bring you the whole peckle. Forget it. And that will then perfect what you've held over the years, rightfully, because it's yours. Yeah? But it's not yet complete. So it's not complete, but that means that the ultimate perfection of Matan Torah is also not yet complete. As Avraham Avinu, what he did is important for you, because you've got to conquer the whole caboodle. You've got to get into the whole package here. Therefore, you've got to move just like Avraham Avinu did. And it's not clear to me in the Sikha right at this very moment exactly what are you supposed to do. Just get up and start walking. At the end, the Rebbe says about learning Torah. Well, that's more connected with the second pirush, that this has got to do with Matan Torah. And when Mashiach comes, there'll be a new level in Torah altogether. Torah Chadosha is like a new Matan Torah, so therefore we've got to prepare for Matan Torah. But he said that's a second aspect. But the first aspect is we're preparing for the 10 nations, the 10 land, and therefore we're going to make a preparation for that just like Avraham. And that is a very amazing statement of Kate, because a lot of people don't know that way. A lot of people, we did get some, but we haven't got the 10 yet, and Halavai, and it'll only be later, and this and all that. The Rebbe knows that we got the 10 right from the beginning. We got a package. So therefore, says the Rebbe, where are we? I'll learn so. בפרשת סיינו מסופר שאברהם אבינו נכנס לארץ ישראל, והקדוש ברוך הוא, אברהם אבינו went into Israel, והקדוש ברוך הוא הבטיח עשו לא יהיו לזרים. Hashem promised Eretz Yisrael to him and all his seed, all his generations. ואם כן, גם נויס הזה חויזה ומסיירה מחודש בכל שנה. אם כן, whenever we read Lech-Lecha, that whole thing becomes renewed, yeah? And to a certain extent, it becomes renewed every day, because it's part of the Torah, and the Torah becomes renewed every day. So therefore says the Rebbe that the promise of Avraham Avinu by Hashem of receiving the whole Eretz Yisrael is a real and ongoing thing. So he says, אחרי שהקדוש ברוך הוא הבטיח לאברהם אבינו שלכו נשאתי את הארץ, he promised him that I've already given you the land. ואחרי שאברהם אבינו עבר לאוכל לרק בו, it's written that he went to the breadth and the length. He walked around a lot of Avraham Avinu. He traveled all over the place. ואחרי כיבוש הראשון, that's called chazaka. Avraham Avinu made what's called a chazaka. And then after that, after the conquering, the first conquering of the land, b'yamei Yoshua, and Pam Shnia b'yamei Ezra HaSefer, but the Rambam said that was a much stronger conquering than the first one. That's called what we call Chazaka also. Mahi HaMashmois HaMaisis HaAkshoviyas. What is the implication of deed and up to date? Shalalitas Avraham Avinu liknois Eretz Yisrael, that Avraham Avinu went in order to purchase and make a kinyan in Eretz Yisrael. Achrei shehi kvar shalanu, we've already got it. We're already here in Eretz Yisrael, and it's already ours. So the Rebbe said, "B'miyuch b'deros achreinim, achrei shekvar omdim l'sayim esafiras yechutz l'Eretz Yisrael." So the Rebbe said, maybe you could say that the Tzemach Tzedek said you have to make chutzrods in Eretz Yisrael. So maybe by Yidden working in chutzrods, to make chutzrods like Eretz Yisrael, that is like their completion of the conquering of Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe said that's already been finished. I'm sorry, he said of all the birurim and the goddess have already been finished. And the making of chutzrods in Eretz Yisrael has already been achieved. That's what he says. Oh, it's tremendously powerful. So he says, Im Kain, that's all been finished. Im Kain, there's only one thing that we're moving into, Eretz Yisrael. Lech-Lecha, it already belongs to it. He says, no. Ha'ezber shekol eser ha'arotzes, shehu techulonu alidei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that all the 10 countries which have been promised to us by Hashem, u'lereiv hadeyas, gam nitnu az. The Rebbe said the majority of opinions hold like me. And he says that that's already been given to us. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avraham Avinu, I've already given it to you, he meant all the 10 countries. Surely zu bezu, as you came, that promise and the moving of Avraham Avinu, all that, they're all bekesher, one to the other. ומכיוון שבזמן יהושע ובית המקדש ובזמן עזרא הגזיחו בני Israel, they made a emes a chazaka. The Rambam says that particularly in the time of Ezra, they made what's called a chazaka. Bnei Yisrael b'sheva arotzes v'kol ha'yosef. At the moment, that's all. V'loi b'shleisha arotzes sheyiyu shalanu rak b'geula. Im kein choser adayin b'kinyan shall call Eretz Yisrael. Since he gave us at one go, the whole 10, and we've only got 7.5, then we haven't got really the whole thing yet. Which means that even though we got it, we haven't ultimately got it. If that's the case, then he said, "Hu adova b'negeh leYehudim sheberetz Yisrael." He said, this is also shayah to people who actually live in Eretz Yisrael. And he said, even at the time of Yeshua, וברויב זמן בייס ראשון היו רוב היהודים בארץ ישראל. He said, אבל בזמן הגאולה יהיו בארץ כל היהודים שבכל הדרך. In other words, what does he want with that? That certain of the mitzvahs which indicate our full grasp on Eretz Yisrael require that everybody be there. Kol Yoshveh Aleya. For example, mitzvahs Shemitah, V'Yovel, they should be Torah, they need everybody to be there. So the Rabbi says a very interesting chiddush. And he says that in Bais Sheni, according to one opinion, they used to count the Shemitahs and the Yovel. I have heard in Bais Sheni, a lot of people remained in Babel. Not everybody came back. So he says a very amazing, and he brings down one of the great Rishonim, and he writes that since all the Shvatim came back, but not all the Shvatim, but all the Shvatim came back, even though they were lacking, but that's called that everybody was there. That's called Kol Yeshveh Aleha. And therefore they were able to carry out certain of the mitzvahs. However, the Rabbi said that's like a finding of a way, even though you're faced with a difficulty. You have a difficulty that not everybody's here, yet nonetheless we can consider as if everybody were here. He said when Mashiach will come, that's not going to be a problem. But when Mashiach will come, everybody, the Frierdiker Rebbe said that not one Yid will remain in because when Mashiach will come, everybody's going to come. And then the Rebbe said even more than that, everybody that's ever been is also going to come. All the Yid are going to come. So that's a big question of the Gemara. That's where they all going to fit. Doesn't matter now.
There's a lot of villages here. We can get them all out.
But even with that,
let's start getting them out now.
So the Gemara says that that's why the Eretz Yisrael is called Eretz Tzvi. One of the psukim is called Eretz Tzvi, because the skin of a tzvi, of a deer. Have you ever had a real deer skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had them when I was a kid. Yeah, they just spread out.
Mm-hmm.
You can expand them, and they will cover you anything. You can put anything inside them, because they just keep expanding. Yeah, Emerson deer skin is an amazing thing. Therefore, the Rebbe says Eretz Yisrael is like the skin of the deer. It's just going to keep expanding and expanding and expanding. But all the people will just come down from heaven or get up from the grave, all the people who come from the Golas, and then the Rebbe says you're going to have everybody on earth, right? So then there won't be any questions about keeping everything. Because then everything is going to be in time by Shiny. They had it was called everybody's there, even though it really wasn't. So when Moshe will come, we're not going to have that problem. So therefore we'll be able to keep all the mitzvahs, everything will be done with Bishlemus, and we'll have the 10, all the 10 countries, and everything will be perfect. Yizim Kain, says the Rebbe, Lo Chaim Boro. It becomes clear, Shegam Ka'ez, that even right now, Yeshnoi Tzeirat Lech-Lecha Liknei Sesaoret. There's a necessity to go and, how do you call it, purchase Eretz Yisrael. All you guys,
Right. Otam.
he says that there's a necessity in Cain to do like Avraham Avinu did. We're preparing for the ultimate purchase of Eretz Yisrael. We haven't finished it yet. So we're going to go and start like Avraham Avinu did. So the Rebbe said, we got to do what Avraham Avinu did, keep shooting. Not just, in some sort of shot. So I must admit, it's a little bit not exactly clear. What are we really supposed to do? What does that mean? And what do you say? I notice you're dreaming a little bit over there. It's where we've got to work out, what are we supposed to be doing? We've got to be like Avraham Avinu. So I think what it means is...
You have to make a kinyan.
Eh?
You have to make a kinyan in Eretz Yisrael.
We have to?
The Jews have to make a kinyan out of Eretz
now
Yisrael.
you see? We have to make a kinyan. That's the amazing thing that we face now. All they need to get up in this crazy Knesset, and they're not going to do it. But that's what they need to do, is get up and say that Eretz Yisrael is ours. Those who are killing Jews, finish. Hurrah. Hurrah. You understand? Finish with you. Maybe they'll eventually do it, who knows? And if that were done, that would be a tremendous kinyan in Eretz Yisrael. That's a very interesting thing.